What's going on, brother?
Woo! Welcome back. How are you, my guy, my dude, my PIC?
What's PIC?
Partner in Cox.
Wow.
Partner in crime, dude.
I'm all right, bro. I got to go to work tomorrow. It sucks.
Oh, guess what I get to do tomorrow?
What?
I get to sit here and scream to the lovely world.
And do nothing.
Do nothing while they look at my beautiful face.
Are you are you streaming full time for a job now or what? Are you trying to make?
Yes and no. So I'm trying to get to the point where it becomes financially viable. But I'm not there yet. But from what I can see and what I've been told, I show a lot of promise.
Ooh.
Yeah, just like in school. You have potential.
So are you like all these people who have like regular jobs, but at the computer, at home, working from home, and just have no fucking bottoms on and just like a dress shirt on top? Like right now, are you fucking in your chonies, bro?
Oh no, I'm full commando, dude. I got nothing.
So you're top heavy right now.
Top heavy, bro. It's balls on leather, dude. Balls on leather.
Unfortunately, I got to drive 45 minutes to a job that I unfortunately cannot smoke marijuana at.
I mean, I feel like, aren't you in a union, dude?
Yep. It's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing.
What do you mean?
Well, work-wise, it's a great thing. But my job title, my job, what I do, I can't smoke weed, bro.
Okay, but what I'm talking about is like on those days when you just don't want to go in tomorrow, can't you just be like, "Hey, I'm sick," and they just kind of have to shut the fuck up?
Yep. That's what a good thing about it. But you know what? You get 12 of those a year. And I'm down to 4.
You're down to 4, bro? It's March.
Yeah, I know. The baby's been sick a lot.
True.
Yeah.
Well, still though, like at my old job, dude, they would be like, "Sick? What is sick? How do you spell that? What's the definition?"
Yeah. That's what I like about being in the union though, because union jobs you're like I think it's safe. Because if you have a regular job, you can get laid off or replaced at any moment. And you're basically competing with everybody in the world, pretty much. For example, Kevin, he has a job. I'm not going to say where he works, but it's very cutthroat. Like you got to put your work in, and obviously, I'm not saying I'm a lazy worker, but what I'm saying is that you have to outdo everybody, and they do layoffs like every 2 months, and like 15, 20 people get laid off every 2 months. And he texts me, "Hey, dude, they're doing layoffs. Pray for me. Hopefully, I make it." And every time he's made it, he's done that like 3 times. Me, fuck.
Damn.
I didn't even have to worry about no layoff at all. You know what I mean? Because my job's by seniority, and you're up high. You know what I mean? The only thing I have to worry about layoff is if they decide to cut the department in half. But that's like fucking, they lay off like 40 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not even, yeah. It has its pros for sure.
Got it. So, okay, so with your setup, do you, with how unions are set up, are you working for the union technically, or are you working for the company?
No. So you work for the company, but the union works for you. That makes sense. That's what it's called for union dues. Because you have a union due. Depending on the hourly wage you get paid. My union due is 90, I think it's like $97, right? Well, it used to be. I don't pay union dues now. But I'm a shop steward now. So I actually help the union fight for the workers that are getting mistreated.
So you big boss now.
Not big boss, bro. I do it for all the good reasons, bro. I have a lot of Spanish speaking workers at my work, and they're all old school, and they come from the culture of work your ass off. Who cares what fucking Patron says? Just fucking do it. You know what I mean?
Who
And
cares what Patron says?
Patron, like El Jefe.
Oh, I was like, damn, they all coming to work hungover or something?
Nah, nah. But who cares what they say? Whatever they say, just do it. Even though if they're being mistreated, they just do it anyways.
Yeah.
Like they don't. They can't. They don't have the power to voice their opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to take the position. We're kind of veering off right now, but that's why I wanted to take the position so I can stand up for those individuals that don't have. Now, I wouldn't say the guts or anything like that, but they don't want to deal with the bullshit, but they
Hmm.
also don't want to be dealt, uh, like being taken advantage of, and
Hmm.
that's why I took part of it. But anyways, back to the subject as far as the union works for you. That's what your union dues are for,
Hmm.
because the union negotiates. It's called a CBA, and they negotiate with the work that you're at. So, say for instance, the job. Say I work at UPS.
Hmm.
The CBA is agreed upon by the union and by the management of the UPS site and from the managers. They agree on things, negotiations, and stuff like that on how things should go.
Hmm.
So, if the managers do something outside of the CBA, that's when I step in to challenge their question or challenge their motives on, hey, what's going on here? Just wanted to touch bases with you because we're having concerns on this end about this and that they feel like they're being treated wrong. If they present their case as far as it sounds shady, I'm gonna be like, hey man, that's shady. Can you do something to make it right and let's not let that happen again?
Hmm.
Then they it's either they have the right to say no, this is what we're going to do because it's the best for the job. All right, fine, whatever, we're just going to file a grievance. And my classic line is, um, i'm I'm not telling you how to do your job, but if you want, you can do whatever you want, but then I'm going to have to do whatever I got to do, because you got a job you got to do, I got a job I got to do.
Hmm.
You can tell me to do whatever, but if it's outside the CBA, we're just going to file a grievance, and then you're just going to have to listen to the head honcho at the union that comes down, and he's going to yell at you, and he's going to yell at you freely because he doesn't work for you. He's going to stand here and he's going to talk to you stern and make you feel belittled because it's basically at that point it's like we're at a courtroom type of situation, and then
I really like the way that you just put that. That the head honcho at the union, so the union president, I'm guessing is what you mean,
yeah,
doesn't work for the company.
yeah,
That's sick. Because that would
that,
be
that
that would be like having your own personal bodyguard like in the background at all times. You know what I mean?
I think of it as like a lawyer on retainer.
Yeah,
That's how I think of it.
that's sick.
And I'm just a fucking office assistant, but I also know the laws. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
So then,
Because half the shit that goes on in a union job on a regular job site, get the fuck out of here. You're fired.
yeah.
I tell my coworkers every time, and my coworkers say the same thing, dude. If the union wasn't here, half of this company would be fired.
Yeah. Now,
But what I'm saying is like, let me. I'm coming off as being like very pro union. We try not to push back on them. We try to get them to work with us so we don't have to worry about none of the
yeah,
shit.
cooperate.
Cooperate. So we try to keep the relationship. Like I have my GM right now. He's a huge Niner fan, and
Mhm.
obviously I'm a
Oh,
Niner fan.
oh. Do you kind of like the Niners?
Are you colorblind? That's not black. That's not silver and black. Anyway, uh, he's a big Niner fan, and we shoot
Mhm.
the shit. And the other day, I told him, "Hey, you know what? Even though we bump heads and stuff like that, I just want to let you know you're doing a great job, bro. You're changing this place around, and I can see the difference." Because he just started about maybe 6 months ago,
Oh,
and he's actually doing a fantastic job.
so your GM, so he's not with the union?
No, the GM for the company.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so I'm cool with the guy. Yeah,
Okay.
but I told him
I guess that would make sense, huh?
even though we bump head. Well, here's the thing: the GM has to stand up for his managers and his operation manager, division manager, his supervisors, whatever his supervisors decide to do is in the moment of everything that's going on. And if they make the wrong call, the GM has to stand up for him and try to support, because he's on that side of the fence. You know what I mean? He's under management. Try to support him as much as possible, and he doesn't want to just throw his workers under the bus.
Yeah.
He tries to work with them. I try to work with them, and that's how it goes. You know what I mean? Now tell me you can go to a job at Mercedes Benz and do that type of shit and tell your supervisor, nah, I don't like how you're doing that. Change it.
Oh, go tell my
No.
boss to fuck off.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Not in those words. We keep it professional. You know what I mean? But in a yeah, fuck off, dude. You're dumb. You're not doing it right.
yeah, that'd probably get you fired at 99.857% of places.
In a regular day to day 9 to 5 or whatever job. Yeah.
Yeah,
If it's W-4 for sure.
you get fired in a fucking heartbeat.
If you got a 1099, that's the best way for sure. You ain't got to listen to nobody. You're by yourself. You're making your own money. I
True.
think that's the best way.
I've only worked for a 1099 very briefly, but I did find it funny that they were still trying to like give orders. I was like,
Yeah.
who the fuck are you talking to?
Yeah, right?
If I want to take an extra 5 minutes for my lunch break, I will.
Yeah.
No, okay, so let me ask you this. Let's say the company you work for came up to you and was like, hey, we want to offer you this like upper management level position, but you got to leave the union. Would you do it?
As of right now, no.
Really?
I've thought of it. I've thought of it for sure, but I would never do it because I kind of feel, I don't know. I got fucking anxiety about these things sometimes. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, as amount of stuff, because I'm obviously a shop steward, and I'm fucking colliding, and I'm fucking challenging their word, and telling them, hey, this isn't right. Let's make it different. Or you owe this person money. Can you pay him on the next paycheck, or those type of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I challenge their words so much to the point where I kind of feel like if that opportunity ever popped up, that they would try to get me into the business, but then have any opportunity they want just to
To
cut
get
me off.
rid of you?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Just because of the history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
I don't know. I feel like,
It has happened before, though, as far as not just in my situation, but in some of my coworkers. They got offered a position, and I didn't see that work out that well. And
yeah.
that person no longer works with us, and he works. He actually came from the city of Milpitas, and he went to my job, worked there for like 15 years, and there was going to be a bumping process, but so the bumping process wouldn't happen, so people wouldn't get laid off. He said, "You know what? I'll accept that supervisor position." He was a supervisor for like 2 years, and then he fucking was out the door. Yeah,
Well,
but
so
he for
that's the thing.
15 years, for 15 years, so that means he had 5, 10, 15, about 4 weeks vacation, and he was probably like at the middle of the list of seniority.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he was in a good position for sure. And I think he was driving at the time too, so he was making like
Nice.
$40 an hour, and
That's
he
wild, dude.
gave that up.
Like to think about what's crazy is like unions are actually fairly looked down on in the United States.
Hmm.
I feel like it's because most people don't understand just how important of a role unions played in building up the middle class in the United States,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like people don't understand unions look out for the employees, right? The company and management is always going to look out for the best interest of the company,
yeah, exactly.
right? Like even when I became a manager at, with the company I used to work for, and you know, oh, they give you a nice title and all that stuff. But as soon as now, technically I did quit, but it was also a whole bunch of other shit that went on, right? Like the company doesn't really give a fuck about you. They give a fuck about the company and what's best for the company. Same thing with like HR, right? Like a lot of people are tricked into thinking HR is there for the employees when it's not.
Nope.
That's the
I've gotten
farthest thing.
I've gotten into it with HR too, challenging their word, because I know that at the end of the day, we're just a number on a spreadsheet,
Yep.
and if those numbers aren't putting numbers up, that number is going to get cut off. And say we do get mistreated, and we want to claim a case. I'm trying to think of a situation I can talk about. No, I can't talk about it. So say you something happened at work, and
Mhm.
you go to HR. You're not going to HR for help. You're going to HR to make sure that they talk to their managers to make sure they do the right thing.
So to protect their own ass.
To protect their own ass. Say, hey, you know what? I'm just following the chain of command. I went to the supervisor, went to the division manager, went to the operations manager, went to the GM. None of these guys are listening, and I feel like I'm being mistreated. Can
Mhm.
you please talk to them and tell them to knock it off? Because I'm feeling harassed. You know what I mean? Something like
Yeah.
that. Some of the lines are that. You're only doing that because you're telling the HR, hey, tell your guys to fucking back off, or I'm gonna take it to the next level, and I'm gonna go seek counsel for whatever avenue I want to go down.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do all that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You're not going to them for to help you. You're just a number on the fucking spreadsheet. If you can get cut off, they can replace you at any time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just like what I forgot who was talking about it, but when you die, this is why I fucking love being part of a union, because you're kind of like you're working with pride instead of just working as a lamb.
Hmm.
Um, when you die, all the people that like live and breathe their jobs and stuff like that and can easily just get cut off and laid off at any time,
Hmm.
they got to realize that they're just a number for sure. But when you die, you easily just get replaced. Say you die in a car accident, they're sad for a few days, but business continues. Your job is up on the internet a week later. An interview process is happening 2 weeks later. You might not even be buried in the ground, and your job might be covered by the time you get into the ground or cremated.
Fuck.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I think
That's a fucked up thought.
that is fucked up, dude. I mean, I think it has a lot to do with the school systems too.
What do you mean?
Because, bro, you wake up at 6, you get to work, you get to school, or you wake up at 7, whatever the fuck your time you wake up. School starts at 8.
Mhm.
You have a break. What is it? What do they used to call it? Brunch?
Brunch.
Yeah, 15-minute brunch. Then you go back to go to the next class. Then you go to lunch for however long. Then after lunch, you go to another fucking your last break before you take your last couple of, and then you're off at fucking what, 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
That's a 9 to 5 system right there, bro. They're molding you to be a lamb in the workforce because they want you to work for corporations. They don't teach you in school how to be an entrepreneur.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot that is messed up with the school system. It's, but kind of like a side topic. You know that I just found out they're, at colleges they're still using books and textbooks that I was using when I was going to school 15 years ago.
That's crazy.
Like this one
You
dude was talking about yesterday, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like this book was written before Amazon and eBay," and he was like, "Oh yeah, these online marketplaces are just fads. They're gonna fail."
Yeah,
But sorry, that was a weird little tangent. But okay, I get your point. I get your point about the school system kind of programming kids to just be 9 to 5 workers.
yeah,
That's wild.
yeah. What was this? I think it was in 2000. I started my job in 2013, so I was young and I was still partying. I was making great money, so I was going out buying bottle service and shit like every other fucking weekend. I think you remember that shit. I was just wasting fucking money.
Yeah, of course.
So it was Halloween 2014, and my cousin was coming out from Newman,
Hmm.
and we're all gonna go hang out. And we haven't hung out in a while, and we're gonna get bottle service, right?
Hmm.
So I got 2 bottles, and then he got everybody else pitching for another bottle, so we had 3 bottles for Halloween, right?
Hmm.
I was like, all right, well, I get off at 9:30. I should be able to get home and then get out there by 11 o'clock ish, right? Which is fine. You know what I mean? So I go into work and I talk to my supervisor, and I'm cool with the supervisor. this guy's an asshole. I don't like him now. Ever since after this incident,
Mhm.
but I go and I say, hey, Juan, is it cool if I take off after my 8? And he's like, you know what? There's not a lot of material out there. As long as you promise me to keep up your fucking they used to call it TPH, tons per hour. I
Mhm.
said, as long as you keep your tons per hour up hella high, and you go for that record of like fucking, I think it was like 750 tons, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. That's cake. So all of that work, fucking grinding, and through the middle of the shift, he's all, dude, you're about to shatter that record. I said, yeah, dude, I got shit I got to do. I want to fucking go hang out with my cousins because I just spent hella money off your word of saying, yeah,
Mhm.
um, you're gonna let me go home after 8. It comes around close to the 8 hours, and this dude calls me and he's all, I'm sorry I have to do this to you. I was like, what you talking about? He's all,
Motherfucker.
I need you to stay overtime. And I was like, fuck you mean you need to stay overtime? I just spent $600 based off of what you told me before the shift. Mid shift, you told me I was fucking killing it and I'm gonna pass it no problem. Pretty sure I passed it by now. Now you want more out of me when you asked me what you wanted in the beginning and you weren't gonna work me overtime? Yeah, I know. I feel like an asshole, but there's nothing I can do, man. We have to get more done because this, and that. I said, no, fuck that. I'm not working. I'm going home. So I went home.
Mhm.
The next week, I go out and I fucking had a blast. Me, Jamie, and everybody went out and we had a fucking blast, right? That was on a Friday. Saturday, I wasn't working. Sunday, I wasn't working. Then come Monday, hey, can I see you in the office? Hey, you're suspended without pay for 5 days. And this is literally when I started the company, right? Yeah, and we'll get back to you. So I call my union rep and I say, what's going on? It's not looking good, man. They're looking like they're going to terminate you. And I said, what do you mean they're going to terminate me? I got lucky and I fought it, but I got lucky on a small little detail
The
that he forgot.
technicality.
Yes, he forgot to tell me, I'm mandating you to stay overtime. I need you to stay. Or I'm mandating you to stay. He never said those words.
Oh, making it
All
mandatory.
Yeah, he didn't make it mandatory. All he said was, "I need you to stay." Like he was kind of like he wasn't telling me I had to stay. He kept
More
it
like he was
open
asking you. Yeah.
he kept it more of an open as an option for me to stay. And I
Mhm.
said, "No, I'm going home." But if he would have said, "I'm mandating you to stay," I would have lost my job.
Damn.
Yeah, it sucks, bro. And then how do you do that? You know what I mean? It's like you wait for the word of your supervisor. He said, "Yeah, that's cool." You spend $600. He gives you 4 hours later. He gives you a positive update. Then towards the end, when it's approaching, he wants more from you because he's seeing how good you're working, and he wants it even more from you. And so he's all, "Oh, fuck him! I want more out of this." So I
Bro,
was like, "Off."
bro, that's what I used to say in the car business, man. That when the better that you do, the more you get punished. Like when people can see what you're capable of and then you do that shit, they want more and more of you. Like I remember there was a dealership that I started working at as a manager. And before I went there, right? Like, and I was coming from another spot, making really good money, right? And but I was just over it because the GM there, he kept promising us help. Like we were working insane hours, like one half day off per week. Think about that, like one half day off per week, just busting our asses. And the GM keeps like, oh yeah, we're trying to get people in, we're trying to get you guys help, we're trying to, and that shit went on for months, bro. We were all on the verge of a mental breakdown. There was one chick who came in. She was so good. She was the sweetest chick, and she was so good at her job. All of her customers loved her. Her numbers were really high, and she blew out like in 3 months just because like we were so overworked. And she was just like in the middle of the dealership. She was like, "I haven't seen my kid in weeks. I want to see my kid." Like, and I felt so bad for her, and I was just like, "Fuck." And they put this fear in you, and I know the car business can't be the only one because I've heard other horror stories. They put this fear in you that if you stand up for yourself, you're gonna get fucking canned.
So
And I
there's
I
that.
feel like that wouldn't happen with a fucking union.
So there's that too, but they try to put the fear in workers that if you were to do something back towards them as far as fighting back, there's it's so-called a bullseye on your back, where they now you're on the radar and they're gonna
Oh
look at
yeah, yeah,
every
yeah. Bullseye.
little
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
fucking thing every little thing you do just to fuck with you. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's I still remember, bro. Like I was one of the only guys who was just willing to fucking like I was always getting into it with someone because I was willing to stand up for us.
yeah,
Like during COVID, for instance, at the beginning of COVID, AutoNation was like, "Oh, we'll come out and bring you the car and bring you the paperwork." Right. And when you have to be on the phone with banks all day and you're fucking typing deals and all this shit, taking 2 hours to drive out to fucking Fremont and sign paperwork and then come back like fucks the entire process up. But our guys at Mercedes kept doing that shit. And I was just what the fuck is going on? Like it literally on our website, it says like a 20-mile round trip radius. Why the
yeah,
fuck are we driving 100 miles?
yeah,
You know what I mean? But they were the other guys in my position were just like, yeah, but what can we do? They tell us to go. And so my finance director at the time came up to me and he was like, "Oh, I need you to go." And I was like, "Nope, right here on the website, this is what it says. I'm not fucking going." And then I went and I told the other guys, like, "Look, right here. I just told him. Am I fired? No, I'm still here." Like, fucking tell him no.
yeah. But
That
that situation all depends on, or what was your status at the time? What was your position?
I mean, I was technically in management, but like lower level management at that time.
And all the other guys are you're telling, look, it's on the website. This is what I'm telling them, and I told them, and I'm not going, and I'm not fired. What position was theirs?
Same as mine. Lower level management.
Lower level management. Did you have a little bit more reputation, a better reputation for sales than they do? Because that matters too. Because it all depends on your rank on the company. Because if you question them and it turns into a habit and it's somebody that like, okay, I can chop this dude off, it won't affect anything. You know what I mean? Because this guy's not putting as much work as Dushin is. So if this guy's going to say something, you know what I mean? Turns into a discrimination situation.
Yeah, but I don't think that was really it because in terms of that position, I was still fairly new compared to these other guys. Like these other guys have been doing it for, I think, 15 and like 25 years. I was
Mm.
still, I was still just a few years into it.
Oh, so you're the young bull with the freaking big balls.
Like, it wasn't big balls. It was just I believe very much in fairness, right? And I was getting really sick of getting fucking taken advantage of. Like again, another time I remember I had been fucking typing deals, doing paperwork, nonstop, nonstop. It's holiday season. And finally I'm like, I need 2 fucking minutes to drain the fucking vein. So I get up and I walk out of my office and I'm about to go to the bathroom. And one of the fucking sales managers cuts me off with the customer. And he was like, "Hey, I need you to type this deal real quick. This guy's about to leave." I was like, "Bro, get out of my way. I need to take a leak." And he's like, "No, no, no, hold on. Just type this deal first real quick." And I got pissed off, right? Because I can't, I'm still professional. I can't lose my shit in front of the customer, right? But then, so I run in and I fucking,
When that smile gets even bigger.
oh, dude, like, you don't even know, Andy. And then afterwards, I was like, "Bro, don't you ever fucking cut me off when I tell you I need to go to the bathroom ever again, especially not with no fucking customer. Are you out of your mind?"
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I wanted to beat his ass right then. But I feel like that shit, there's no chance that would happen with the fucking union. It actually makes me, now that we're having this conversation, I really don't understand why anyone would ever be anti-union.
Well, if you want to get in, this is where I'm challenged in the situation
Mm-hmm.
because unions are pro-Democrat, and the
Mm-hmm.
Democratic Party supports unions.
Mm-hmm.
The Republican Party does not support unions. They're more for the
Company.
they're more for the company and the owners than for the labor and the individuals, the middle class, pretty much. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So I'm all for unions. You know what I mean? But I veer the way of, because I invest in houses, rental properties, and we bought one a few years ago in Oklahoma. The only reason why I bought it in Oklahoma because it was a red state because of the laws, and the renters don't have the rights against the owners. So we don't have to worry about the shit that's happening here in California as far as squatters. That's off topic. But what I'm saying is that it kind of like I'm teeter-totter on both of them because I'm not voting Democrat. I'm leaning towards Republican because of financial reasons, but I'm very pro-union, which is Democrat, so you can say that I'm fucking neutral as shit.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in the middle, which I
Yeah,
think
I'm
most.
just in a tough position. Like, fuck, which way am I going?
Well, I think most reasonable people would consider themselves more towards the center, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I think I heard recently that the majority of Americans consider themselves centered now, like not really leaning towards Democrat or Republican, because both of them are
Well,
fucking
I'm
batshit
hearing a
crazy
lot
in
of
their own ways.
yeah, for sure. Everybody's got issues. You got issues.
You got
Your
issues.
commando right now got issues.
Not bro. This feels awesome with the fan on. I got like air circulation, like in like over my thighs, under my balls, over my thighs. It's beautiful. The only issue is that I'm experiencing a little shrinkage.
I hate you.
So
So
it's like resting on top of the
stay off
nuts.
topic
You
now.
know what I
I
mean?
want to
Like
watch the
here's the
story.
balls.
Shut up. Shut up. So I lost my train of thought, you asshole.
No, I said that, but
Christian's penis. Christian's penis. No,
no.
what I was gonna say is that I'm hearing a lot of people are voting towards, are leaning towards Republican just because of money.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people do.
Yeah, everybody who's blue, or not everybody, but a majority of the people who vote blue last year, or the last run,
Mm-hmm.
uh, they're starting to lean towards Republican now because of money, the financials. They want to see the fucking interest rates fall. They want to see gas prices go down. You know what I mean? It's because they're struggling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's you know what. So here's the thing. Like with me, I think that both sides are so bad, like in their own ways, that even I think I said it already before. Like RFK Jr. Right? He's an independent. I think he says a lot of batshit crazy stuff and has a lot of crackpot theories. He's a big conspiracy theorist, but I genuinely believe he has a good heart. Right? Like he spent his entire career fighting for people, whether it was as a lawyer or whatever. So even though I think he is fairly out there, just
Mm-hmm.
because I think he's genuinely the best person out of the three, he's probably going to be the guy I vote for. Because
Yeah.
I mean, both like I feel like as Americans, we all have such shit choices, and I
Well,
think
everybody has a shit choice, but everybody has a different view on how they want to live their life too, but also still live it where they want to be comfortable at.
But you know what, though? I think we all agree on some fundamental things. Number one, should the government leave our fucking money alone? That's an easy question. Fuck
Yeah.
yes. Don't touch my fucking money.
Okay, so then let's touch into that.
Well,
Now,
hold on, because that's from the Republican side, right? And then the conservative side, should you just let people live their fucking lives? Yes.
but you can't. You can.
What do you
That's
mean
the
you
thing.
can't?
So if you were to pay, if you were to, so you're talking about taxes at first, right?
Exactly.
So
Taxes, fees,
touch
all that shit.
touch on that first. Our taxes go to a lot of the things that go around, like the school system, the road work. Wait, I know that very little, possibly yes, we should.
Very tiny part.
Patrolling the patrolling the streets. I mean, we can go back to a couple episodes where we were what's his name from the firehouse.
Ryan?
That supports him. Taxes that supports him
Mm-hmm.
and their funds. You know what I mean? Very little. I'm more curious on itemized bill on where our taxes are actually going.
We agree there. I feel like, would you support if the majority of your taxes went to your county versus the government, like federal government? I would. I
So
would
you're
much
you're so
rather.
you're so you're saying you're saying douche in 2024 is state taxes but not federal taxes.
Oh, not just state taxes. Not just state. I genuinely think your taxes should go to where you live.
So city taxes.
Yes. Well, county. I would say county taxes is what I would consider more important. I think it should
Because
go.
there's already county taxes that are going to be that are happening.
Yes, but what I'm saying is the biggest chunk of our taxes should be going to our counties where we live, where that money will make a difference, right? And then to the state, and then to the federal government.
Okay, so say that were to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me driving from Tracy all the way to Milpitas, it
Mm-hmm.
would literally be nice neighborhood, nice neighborhood, nice neighborhood, ghetto, nice neighborhood, ghetto, nice neighborhood, ghetto, nice neighborhood, ghetto, turn the turn, nice neighborhood, ghetto, nice neighborhood, ghetto. It wouldn't be, it would be like a city thing. You can be in a ghetto in 10 minutes, or you can be in a poverty in 10 minutes, but then it'd be super rich right around the corner. You know what I mean? So how would that make sense? Like, say I was
Because
driving on the road.
that
Say I was driving on the road, and I have to drive through a freaking town. Just say Danville was struggling. We all know Danville is not struggling,
Mhm.
but say Danville was struggling, and I'm driving on the roads and I hit fucking potholes. Hey, you guys got to fix this. Oh, we don't fucking have money. If you got to go through this way, too bad. Your tires are going to take a shit. You still got to drive through this way. You know what I mean? And then everybody's like, "Oh fuck, Danville needs to get their shit together."
I can tell you one thing, right? Number one, one of the biggest causes of that is gerrymandering. That's a whole different topic for a whole nother day. The fact that that shit is still legal in the United States anywhere is mind-boggling. For anyone who
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know, gerrymandering is basically every few years politicians can draw their own lines around the parts where their vote counts, right? So that's why if you look at the districts of San Jose, it looks like the most fucked up Lego set built in hell, right? That's gerrymandering for you. But let me tell you about this, Andy. Do you know why I know that county taxes being the priority would fix that? Because, huh?
You're saying county, not city
County,
taxes.
both. I mean, both.
County's different. County's a wider range.
Okay, city taxes. The
Okay.
reason that shit would have more of an impact much more quickly, because if you have a bad area, right, all fucked up and shitty, as soon as people start moving there, it increases the budget of the city, which means they can afford more officers, afford better roads. So the boost to the area, right, to the infrastructure would be so immediately felt, right, that the quality like and what happens in that area would skyrocket. I
So
feel
then what? So you're telling me, but
right.
how would that even work? From you moving from Santana Road now to moving into a fucking East Stockton.
Yeah,
How? Why would you leave where you're at now to go to East Stockton?
because it's motherfucking expensive here. For the same money that I'm paying here to have no impact, right? We're always having construction, we always have shit roads, we always have traffic, right? For the same money that I'm paying here, if I go to East Stockton, each dollar that I put in as far as taxes is going to have a way bigger impact, right? Because it's immediate. It goes right to the place
So
that
you think?
needs it.
So you think it will just shuffle the board?
Oh yeah. Taxes, look, for everything that people say, with Republicans, right? That trickle down economics. Do you know what that is? Trickle down economics?
Explain it.
Basically, that if you give tax breaks to the really, really ultra wealthy, the big companies, the big, company owners, that if you give them tax breaks and save them money, they're going to pass on some of that savings down the line.
No, that's just tax write-offs.
Exactly. Like that shit doesn't work. It's been, my God, trickle down
Like
economics.
when you go on the line for Starbucks, hey, do you want to donate to your local blah blah blah? No, I don't want to donate nothing.
Yeah.
Jamie looks at me. She's like, "Why don't you want to donate? It's like $1." I said, "Because it's a tax write-off to them. Because you're not actually donating it. You're giving the money back to the company that they donated,
Yep.
and they're trying to get money from you to cover their freaking tax
Yep.
write-off. So they basically win on both ends."
Yes.
And then she's
100%.
like, "How do you know that's true?" And I was like, "Just look into it. It's just some bogus bullshit. Grocery stores do it. Fast food places do it. Everywhere they ask you, would you like to donate to this place? No, they already donated that money.
Yep.
Now they're just trying to cover their tax write-offs.
Yep. Yes, that's exactly right. And that's how trickle down economics works, right? That's how we do our taxes as well. We give the majority of our taxes to the big government, hoping that money is going to come down the line and improve our lives at the lowest level. It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
California shit is as bad as it's ever been. Our state pays so much more in taxes than any other state. We are basically the welfare state for the rest of the country. Did you know that? We support the rest of the country ad infinitum with our taxes. If we stopped paying our state's taxes, do you understand how big of a problem that would be for the rest of the United States? If we were just like, fuck this, handle your own shit.
You'll get Wesley Snipes.
It would be worse than that. If we stopped paying our taxes, I guarantee you within 2 weeks we'd be at civil war. Because the rest of the country literally could not survive without it. We provide too much money to too many things, military, infrastructure, whatever you want to call it. Right? And
when you say we, you mean California?
California.
Okay.
We are and it's not even close, how much we pay to the federal government in taxes. Right? Like, oh, dude. For everything that people, all the shit, like, and I talk shit about California, but that's more because of how things are ran in California. But for how much we support the rest of the fucking country, the fact that they're not like, oh my God, thank you, California.
How do you feel about this Texas applying to be an individual country?
I'm actually okay with it.
You don't think that it's a bad move?
No.
You think they have enough to support their own?
Probably not. No, I think that here's the thing.
I'm not talking about beneficial as far as the United States. I'm talking about just them as a state.
I think that if they became their own country, they would realize how much they need the rest of the country very quickly. But the reason I would be okay with it happening is because I would support it here in California. I would support if California seceded from the United States.
Really?
100%. We get almost no.
How do you think that would look?
Just like
we do have our own ports.
We have our own ports. We have our own military. We would be set here, dude. We would genuinely be set here. We would be perfectly fine. That's what I'm saying. We would be way better off leaving the United States than the United States would be with us leaving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not like a Nevada or something that's all inland.
Exactly. It's and the vast majority of the other states literally need the other states, right? For agriculture, for
support system.
Exactly. For whatever it is. The United States, we're literally self-sufficient. Not to mention if we left the United States, our trade, right? Exports would fucking skyrocket. You know what I mean? Because we still have Silicon Valley. We have the technology. We have the agriculture. We would be 100% self-sufficient.
We have diversity and everything too.
Exactly. Right? We have huge land. I mean, we have a very huge land mass. Right? We could open up trade agreements with Mexico and other parts of Asia and stuff like that. So again, now I'm not saying that we should leave, but what I'm saying is I don't mind if Texas secedes because that would open the door for us if we ever needed to.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, the only way that could possibly happen is if things got that fucking bad, right? And also we would have to have an incredible leader in California. I think Gavin Newsom is a fucking moron.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I'm not going to flat out say it because he's the one making my union strong. So,
my God. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
No, I think he's a moron. I think he does.
I'm right there with you, bro.
Yeah. Again, and I think we brought this up a few episodes ago as well. Like the fact that he wants to fucking put cameras all over the freeways. He's one of those people that our forefathers wrote about. You know, if you give up your freedom for a little security, you deserve neither. He's one of those guys. He would give up freedom for security.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, we went way off topic.
For sure.
But yeah, I do find it very surprising that I mean, because look, 99% of people aren't business owners. That's just a fact of life.
I mean, if you could figure out how to be your own business, I think there's a lot of businesses opened up and people came entrepreneur once COVID hit.
Well, yeah, they had to.
I think a lot of people did, and I think a lot of people became successful. That also fucking depleted a lot of people's savings uh, and fucked people over. Because especially if you were in a union job, majority of the time you would be considered an essential worker.
Mm-hmm.
If you weren't in a union job, if you couldn't work from home, those people got laid off. And those people fucking they're suffering.
You want to hear something funny? So back when COVID hit and they locked down everything, they this and this is
You,
this,
are you talking about the pandemic?
you're an idiot. No, but this is how evil my company was, right? They used some of those laws against us. Now, do you think buying cars would be considered essential work? Do you think anyone
I
in
think
their right mind would say, yeah, buying a brand new car is essential work?
No.
Yeah. Well, my company, because they're so big, right, at that time, made agreements with cities and counties and all that shit to say, hey, since we provide car repair and that's essential, the entire dealership should be considered essential. So a lot of salespeople who were at risk, overweight, smokers, diabetics, older, right? They were forced to come into work and be exposed to COVID during the worst of it.
See what I'm talking about?
Exactly.
Can you imagine if that was union? No, fuck off. Figure it out. We have an agreement in our CBA that if we go on strike, there's a section in the contract that says what is it called? I think it's called the I want to say fuck, what is a word for it? Act of God. So it's called the act of God. So say we're on strike, they can jump on our equipment and they can do our work if nobody's there, and that's only at that point where you can do it. You know what I mean? It's an act of God option in the contract. Now, your guys' situation, if you guys were union and the managers or whatever, or the whoever the owners or whatever, and the workers were on one side, the managers on the other side, all the workers were freaking safe from COVID and staying home, the managers would have to do your job. There's no way that's happening with Mercedes-Benz.
Exactly. I just find it fun. Now, here's the thing. To be fair, I couldn't wait to go back to work. Being stuck in my fucking place for whatever that was, that 2-3 weeks.
Were you guys even selling cars?
Yeah, surprisingly. But I, like I said, I knew a lot of people who didn't want to come back because they were scared, and they were kind of forced to come back, right? And it was usually, like I said, the more at-risk people. So, but that's what I mean. Like companies, no matter how evil it may seem, always, like, you think to yourselves, oh, there's no way they could be allowed to do that. There's no way that shit would happen, right? They'll do it. They'll do it until they can't get away with it anymore.
So when you were at Mercedes and you were working regular 9 to 5 or whatever, well, actually you were working like 15 hours.
Yeah, it was never 9 to 5.
So our jobs, we can't work over 12 hours unless we get paid double time.
Yeah, we hit 12 hours
easy.
Weekly. Easily.
Yeah. So when you guys called in sick, can you guys call in sick whenever you want? How many times you want? So how many times can you guys call in sick?
Okay, so they tell you if you're sick, stay home. But in real life, in practice, no, that doesn't happen.
No, nobody uses sick time when they're sick.
You can't. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, they forced me to fly back during my vacation because they didn't have enough coverage.
Yeah.
Like, and they made it pretty well known. Like, You'll be let go if you don't fly back.
My job.
That.
This is when I was younger, bro. This is when I was younger, but my manager pissed me off one day, and I was like, okay, fine, whatever. You're right, whatever. You got yours. I'm gonna get my get back later. A few weeks later, there was like, I'm gonna say like a quarter of the shift on vacation, right? Or some people call it vacation, some people call it sick. So I come in, and he's all right. Hey, I need you to do this, this, and this. When you're done, do this, this, and this. I looked at it. I was like, nah, I'm gonna go home sick. Bye. And I just left. I couldn't do nothing because I had the right to go home sick. And I basically got my get back because I knew that he was in a difficult position where he wouldn't have any of that work covered.
Yeah.
You can never do that.
Yeah. Fuck no.
Yeah, I can freely, if I wanted to right now, I'd just text my message and say, hey, I'm not coming to work. I'll see you guys when I come back. With no questions asked.
Yeah. It's
It's the freedom of it. You know what I mean?
But-
or like if for instance I say, okay, I don't want to work next week, and I'm gonna take off a Friday, and nobody else is off that Friday. Oh, you know what? We have a special project going on, and we want you to be here that weekend. Too bad. You can't deny my vacation because it's open. Nobody else has it, so you can't deny it.
yeah.
So can you please give me my approval and stop making me wait? And I'm just gonna plan my weekend. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's no way you're doing that in a regular job.
Hell no. Bro, we literally were told, like, oh, November, December, no one is allowed days off. No one is allowed vacations.
Oh, that's the most where everybody takes off. Thanksgiving week and the week before, Christmas week and the week after, because it rolls into New Year's. Hell of people are off of work.
Yeah.
And there's at least like 4, 12, like 14 per department. And there's like 3 or 4 different departments. Shit ton of people are off that week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's fucking wild, dude. Like I remember there was times, right, when I was just a normal salesperson where and you get programmed, dude, to think that this shit is normal. It makes you a badass and fucking like this is how it should be. You're making money and I made great money. But do you know how many times Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, I was there till 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning selling cars and fucking driving around hours delivering cars, you know what I mean? Like it, and that shit was wild. That shit was, and again, at that time, I wanted to make money. I was willing to do it, but then as time went on and I kept moving up through the company, what I realized that what I thought was my choice at the beginning wasn't really a choice.
You were making great money, but that's what was hypnotizing you and
Yeah,
thinking that it was the
exactly.
right thing to
It
do.
makes you think, oh, it's my choice. Like this is what I want to do, but it's not. Right? It's just literally what everyone tells you to do.
It's kind of like it's planted in your brain.
Yeah. Right? Like there was one manager we used to make fun of because of his mentality, but I didn't realize for a while that it's actually how they all think. You want to be rich? You want to make money? This is how you do it. You fucking work 16 hours a day and you fucking work 7 days a week and it's all go nonstop. And again, AutoNation literally punished you for doing better and better. Like their policy, huh?
Go ahead.
So let's say like especially at one dealership and I loved working there, dude. Like the crew that we had at Mercedes-Benz in San Jose was so fucking fantastic. Some of them are still there. Shout out to all of you, G, Red, Teddy.
Teddy.
They were so it was such a fun place to work. I actually didn't mind it. Right? Because we were all having so much fun. It was just imagine working with all your homeboys and you fucking all have the same mentality. Right? That's how it felt there.
I bet they gave you guys food all the time too, huh? Make you feel comfortable and shit.
No, not really.
Oh, guess what? We got pizza in the office. Go ahead and help yourself, and then go out there and bust a 16-hour shift.
Not really, because again, we were all kind of homies. So like, 2 of us would go out to lunch, get food.
No, I'm talking about management making you guys feel like you guys were there as that team, forming a great bond but they were just like, oh, look at my sheep are following the fucking.
No.
I got my fucking lab out there chasing the sheep into the fucking.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Nope. I didn't feel like that there because the GM was one of our homies. Like he was one of the few of them that actually looked out for us, dude, who protected us against some of the shit that corporate wanted to fucking institute. Like,
Oh, you're lucky, bro, because remember that story I told you about the bottle service on Halloween?
yeah,
That dude was a friend.
fuck, that sucks.
Yeah. But anyways, go on with the story.
Yeah, no. So what AutoNation used to do, right? Like our store, Mercedes-Benz in San Jose, was one of the lowest performing stores that AutoNation had. And then Stan went over and he took over a few key guys and they fucking turned it into one of the most profitable stores in AutoNation, right? Then a bunch of us other salespeople started going over there who realized what it could become. And we fucking turned it into a powerhouse, dude. We were selling all the biggest ticket cars, fucking making money hand over fist. And AutoNation, instead of being like, dude, these guys are awesome, they started cutting our fucking pay because they were like, oh, they're making too much money, even though we were just following the rules that they set. And then when they realized
You perfected the system.
exactly, and when they realized like, fuck, we cut their pay and it's still not working, they're still making too much money, they were like, well, let's flood the sales floor with sales guys. Because you got to, this is how they think of it, right? For anyone who might not be in the car business or any of you who are just starting out in the car business, this is the way the company thinks of it, right? If one salesperson sells 20 cars and they make, let's say, $5 million, but they have to pay you $20,000, why wouldn't they hire another sales guy, still sell 20 cars, still make $5 million, but because one sales guy didn't hit all their bonuses, even with two guys, they're only paying $10,000. So they save $10,000 by hiring another guy and taking money out of your pocket.
Ooh, I'd want to punch him so hard.
Exactly. And the fact that when I started moving up, my superiors were like, yeah, that's exactly how it works. That's what you got to think of it. It's about the company now. It's all about the company. And all I could think was,
you're just a number.
Exactly. Like, you expect me to believe that you're looking out for me now?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just because I'm a manager, I'm a director, go fuck yourself. I used to tell the sales managers, dude, like, if you guys could hear the fucking phone calls that I'm hearing because I'm a director, you guys would be in fucking shock how little they give a fuck about you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I'm not gonna say
they're on the back. They're on the back laughing, haha, with their fucking cigars, and then taking a shot right after. You see this fucking dipshit douche and what he's doing,
bro. I'm telling you. And again, like they thought, like, just because I was starting to move up, that they could say certain things or do certain, whatever it was, right? But and two of the sales managers were like, oh, this guy became the GM and we trust him and we know wherever he goes, he's going to take us with him. And, he's the one who promoted us. He's got our back. And I kept telling them, like, bro, he don't have your back for shit. That dude is A1 grade corporate. All he gives a fuck about is himself, his family, and the company. He doesn't really give two shits about you.
He's a corporate rapist.
Yes. Why is your camera shaking so fucking much?
Sorry, bro.
But, well, no, I wouldn't call him a corporate.
I was getting you. You're fucking getting me fucking wild right now,
no,
bro.
I would not call him a corporate.
Oh boy.
Hold on. I would not call him a corporate racist. He actually outside of.
I didn't say that. I said a corporate rapist. He's raping you.
Yeah.
Why'd you say racist?
Oh, my bad. Just because I'm racist against you, so I just thought,
Why? Because of the hat?
No, because of the dot.
Oh my god.
No, I would not go so far as to call him rapist. Look, he outside of that environment, he was actually a really cool dude, really nice guy. But
business is business.
Exactly. Like, and that's his mentality, right? Business is business. Right? Like, when it comes to business, go fuck yourself. As soon as we're off work, hey, we're all buddies, we're all homies, it's cool. And I can
fuck that. I would be like, hey, bro, yeah, let's go have dinner. Filet mignon on you, shots on you. Hey, you want to go get some another bottle and just fucking go hang out? Yeah, for sure. Top shelf. You're gonna be the fucking Remy Martin whatever the fuck XFLSLP, whatever, you're buying all of it.
Yeah. And
Treat me like shit. You're gonna dine me out and fucking make sure I feel whole at the end of the day. You're not fucking me, but I'm just saying.
bro, you want to know how I knew that that Mercedes-Benz in San Jose was a one-time, like once in a kind of lifetime special thing? Bro, there were times, and I know he would get mad at me for actually saying this, but fuck it now because I'm no longer in the business. There were times, bro, we just went on a fucking tear. You know, we went on a hot streak, whatever, and our GM Stan would fucking grab a Maybach. We'd fucking drive up to fucking Saratoga, Los Gatos, and have a fucking crazy expensive dinner. You know what I mean? Like just me being a salesperson at the time. Like I
Yeah.
hadn't moved up at that point. But like, and a bunch of us would go out there and he'd fucking treat us. You know what I mean? Like,
My job does the same shit though. They think that if I mean they give us fucking they give us barbecue, they cater fucking food and stuff like that because they think that if they like for instance we're taking a survey right now. After the survey, they buy us food. So they think that us taking the survey to get them to do their jobs or whatever, they're gonna buy you food.
mm-hmm.
Or hey, you guys are doing a good job, whatever, but they're just doing it to make us feel happy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We've been doing our jobs. We're the ones out there pushing your numbers. We're the one making your numbers. We're the one putting those numbers on your spreadsheet so you get your bonuses.
Yeah.
These bonuses that you have cut us off a piece. We don't see it as thank you for buying us food. I always see it as oh finally you fucking did something for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's them taking you out to dinner and shit ain't shit, dude.
No, no,
They
no, no.
ain't shit.
I'm not talking about the business taking a step. I'm talking about because he was our boy. He
Oh,
realized
you're
that
talking about okay.
he realized the company would never do something like that. So he was like, "Hey, let me treat you out."
He went out of his way.
Exactly,
So he's a cool guy.
dude. He was the fucking best. He was fucking incredible.
And this is who Stan?
Yeah,
Oh, I remember you talking about Stan.
yeah. He was that dude is again. He's one of those guys you would want to be running a company. You would want to be your fucking boss because you know he's
Okay,
going
yeah.
to look out for you. You know what I mean? Like, and I think this whole mentality, especially with the union busting that has gone on for the last 50 years, right? Where they tell people, oh, unions are bad for the economy, they hold back progress and all this kind of stuff. Nah, dude, they hold back the company's progress. But if the only way that you know how to run a company is by fucking over your employees, fuck your company anyways, dude. Like
Yeah.
all this shit that I'm hearing about now, Apple getting sued and left and right, good for fucking them. They made their every fucking dollar they have on the backs of fucking pretty much slave labor in Asia and everywhere else in the world. Go fuck
Yep.
yourselves. I hope you guys get sued into fucking oblivion.
So Amazon is I think Amazon went union and the warehouses and I just found out that Amazon is moving to Mexico.
Exactly.
Exactly.
There's no
So
unions in Mexico.
there's not. There's people that want money that are going to work their asses off, but they're not going to be. They're going to basically get taken advantage of.
Nope.
United States, everybody became smart, and they're like, no, fuck that. We're fucking going union, so we have our rights, and we're fucking being treated the right way,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not being mistreated. Okay, fuck it. Let's start all over. Let's go down to Mexico. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The same shit as they do in China, bro. In the sweatshops and shit. There's no unions in China.
See, and that's the kind of stuff I am totally for. And here, I don't like to admit it, but I think it might be Trump who suggested this. I would be 100% for taxing the ever loving shit out of American companies that move production overseas.
Yeah.
If you try to skirt, employment laws and antitrust laws and all that kind of shit, and you're an American company, fuck yeah, the government should tax you up the fucking wazoo, you cheap,
Yeah.
nasty, evil piece of shit company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so before we run out of time, because we're at 105 already, let me ask you this. If you could, let's say you could draw up how a union works from scratch, right? What changes would you make to improve it?
To improve a
To
union?
improve a union.
I mean, I have visions on our contract for my job, but as far as a whole union, I don't have no say in that, man.
No, I'm not
They
saying
already,
you have a say, but like again, a lot of people think that, a lot of people have been told, right, because of media, movies, whatever it is, that unions are bad for the country, right? Because
but I don't see it that way though.
I know you've been in a union, and I'm sure just like you
Well,
have a lot of pros.
I've also worked both sides. That's why I've worked outside of a union. I worked in a union.
Yes, but like, in what ways do you think that unions could change that would basically bring up the way that the country looks at them again? You know what I mean? Like, what changes do you think you could make to unions that would make people be like, okay, they are valuable?
It'll never happen because it goes back to Republicans and Democrats. Republicans are for the manager, for the owners, and Democrats are for the labor workers. The labor workers are for the labor workers feel a certain way. It's just like me and you. We're middle class individuals, and we're trying to catch up to the people who are fucking rich. The people down and the people who are rich don't give a shit about us because we're the ones making them money.
You,
You know what I
you
mean?
know what though? I
It's never gonna change. It's just a cycle of how it is. At least what you can do is at least try to make your day to day more comfortable for your own current situation. But say, for instance, I rent out houses and
Jesus.
stuff. What?
Oh, you didn't hear that? That was fucking loud.
What?
No, someone slammed the door next to me. Never mind. Never mind.
I just had a motorcycle go down my
Oh, I
street.
heard that.
So say I invested in rental property in Oklahoma. It's a red state.
Mhm.
If I ever want to evict those people, I just got to give them a certain amount of time and they're gone. Here in California, you're a Democrat. It's a Democratic. You're not a Democrat, but you're a Democratic state. It's for the renters.
Mhm.
Someone try to evict you here, bro. You can use squatters. You can squat, and you can just fucking post up and not pay any fucking rent or anything like that. You're obviously going to be fighting in the courts and stuff like that consistently, but this whole time you're not going to be, and the owner is losing money. I mean, it's never going to change. It's just a cycle of being fucked.
I disagree, man. I think that if it got made that way, it can be changed that way, dude. I think the mentality that
So what would you do then?
there's quite a few things I would do. I think that of 100% there should be unions. I think that any set of employees should be allowed to unionize if they want to. Um, and I do think that there should be some kind of way to moderate it, to moderate the unions versus the companies, right? Because I think that's where, and if you had that, I think that a lot more companies would be open to letting their employees unionize, right?
Mm,
Because you, like me as a business owner, right? If my employees all of a sudden are like, hey, we're going to unionize, and what we say goes, basically the employees are telling you how the company's going to run. And me as as an employer, as the owner, I'm going to be like, go fuck yourselves, right?
yeah,
But if there was a way that you could have moderators who were like, hey, these are the guidelines, this is what's fair, right? Blah, 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 that would kind of change things. It would have kind of like a buffer between them. You get what I'm saying? So
I still don't think it'll ever work.
I think that could help. I think that could help. It's it's like having a ref during a fight, right? That's what I'm talking about. You have a ref who can be like, hey, you're going too far, don't cross that line, right? Like, instead of you as a shop steward having to go to the company and being like, hey, you're fucking over my workers, right?
Yeah,
Having someone else who's not part of the union and not part of the company be seeing this and being like, hey, you're fucking over those guys.
yeah,
It takes away the clash. You get what I'm saying? That's what
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
So I feel like if it were possible to kind of implement a system like that, like a ref system, I think you would see a lot more unions, and I think a lot more employers would be okay with it, because then they would also have someone who has their back when the employees are being fucked up. Hey, you're
Yeah.
abusing sick time. Hey, you're abusing sick pay. Hey, you're abusing this, you're abusing that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Then I think employers would be like, okay, well, it's not you versus me, it's us in this together, and this guy's kind of like, yo, these are the lines, don't cross. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. And I do think that there would be a way to implement that. It would just take some creative people to fucking start it out.
That ain't happening out here though.
And again, I think it could. I think I
Oh, it could. Anything could happen, bro.
exactly. I think something like that could work, and I think that especially if I mean, dude, you could even have other companies whose only goal and only thing to do is exactly that, to referee between companies and their unions. That
It's called mediation.
yes, but I mean, the only thing I've ever heard of is it on very small scales right now. I'm talking about it being like an actual national thing,
Yeah.
right?
Well, that's what mediation's for, dude.
Again, but that's in term
Because after a grievance process,
that's
you
what I'm,
take it.
that what you're saying. That's after a problem has already started. That's not what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about before the fact?
Before the fight. Before the fight, right? Like let's say your employer wants to change the schedule, right? They have to go before any changes are done. They have to go to the mediator and say, "Hey, these are the changes we want to implement." The mediator looks over the contract between the union and the employer and says, "Nope, can't do that." No fight happens.
I mean, that's technically what I do right now
But you're
because,
part of the union.
but I know that, I understand that, but that's what I said when talking with the managers. We still have a relationship with each other and a common ground, and my manager actually comes to me for advice sometimes. Say, hey, this is what's going on. This person called in sick. Is it okay if I put this person into this position? And I think about it. I said, no, you can't do that. He said, okay, what could I do? I said, well, you can put this person in this machine because this person has higher seniority than that person you want to. I understand you want to put that person in, but and it's going to benefit whole your whole operation, but you have to follow by seniority. So you have to put this guy in there, then this guy can move into that position, and then you're clear and you're good, and your operation should run just fine.
Mhm.
All right, sounds good. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't have to tell him that because he's up to making his own decisions. But he does come to me and say, "Hey, I don't want to cause any problems. I don't want to clash. Can we? Can you tell me what I can do to make sure that this is good, so we can continue the operation, so we don't have to worry about crossing any lines and going outside of the CBA?"
Exactly.
So that we do that
Yeah, but that's you guys are lucky in the fact
a
that you
lot,
guys have
but a
that
lot.
relationship.
Yes, a lot of people do.
But I've
A
I've
lot of
I've
people
also
do
seen a
have
lot of
that,
people that
but
don't.
there is clashes on both sides
Yes.
that is just
UPS.
so.
I remember a bunch of them.
No, I'm not talking about new stuff, or new contracts being formed, or um a new contract being agreed upon, because whenever there's a contract that needs to be agreed upon, a lot of the time there's strikes and they threaten strikes. But when we see it, like the railroad strike, I mean the railroad conversation, when the railroad guys were like, "Oh, we're gonna go on strike," and if we go on strike and you don't have any railroads for fucking 2 days, it will put a fucking damper on the economy as far as people getting their goods. I knew it was never gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a show of force from one side to the other to get what they wanted. And when they showed that force, the managers, or the whatever, the corporation, showed force back saying, we're not going to do it. And it's kind of like you're just teeter totter. And in that, whenever us in the public are seeing this on the news of it going back and forth, oh no,
Yeah, it seems
it's
scary.
it seems scary because that's what the news does. But when you're in the actual agreement, it it basically, it's different. These people are talking. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And what we see is different from what's inside. So these people have a relationship with each other and it's working out with each other. It's just the news is making it bigger than what it is. Same thing with the UPS. There's something going on with the unions and Starbucks right now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot bigger, and it's just a show of force. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I work with managers all the time on a day-to-day basis as far as helping each other out.
No, it's
And
good.
I also do the same thing as workers. We also do the same thing for them. You know what I mean? Because they can use their policies in the workers' favors.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
All right. Well, in short, unions are good for America.
hoorah!
Hell yeah, brother. All right. Well, let's wrap it up there. We're already at 1:15. God dang.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah, me too.
I hit the baby inside right now.
Yep. And I heard your phone buzz a couple times. I'm sure Jamie's like, "What the fuck is going on?" All right, brother. Well, thank you as always for taking the time to talk to me. I know you're a busy
Yep,
man.
as well as you, bro.
Yes, sir. And yeah, what was you know what, we forgot to touch on the little thing that we said last week. Tune in next week to find out.
No, that's gonna be actually. I'm waiting for that to come in the mail. That's gonna be the next episode.
There you go. Okay, sounds good.
We're gonna play that for sure,
Yeah,
and that's gonna be a funny ass episode.
yeah,
Funny and serious, but we're gonna put a little kick to it. So
for sure.
yeah.
All right then, brother. Then you have a great rest of your day, as always. Everybody, pieces.
Later.